Good afternoon. Hebrews 13:2 tells the church to make sure that they maintain the hospitality codes, be sure that they entertain strangers, because some unknowingly have entertained angels unawares. This is a great story. My name is Bill Payne. I'm the pastor of First Methodist Church in Live Oak. In Genesis 18, God has come to visit Abraham. It's a theophany, and he's brought two people with him, two of his mighty angels. But they look just like human beings, and you would not know from looking at them that they were these mighty divine beings. They're angels in disguise. In any case, they have a time and God has a message that he needs to give to Abraham, and he needs to fix some situations in Abraham's life. And as the angels and the Lord are getting ready to go, God says, shouldn't I tell Abraham what I'm about to do? And so the angels go on to the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah to check out the evilness of those cities. And Abraham knows who God is. And in fact, Abraham remembers the stories that God destroyed the ancient world in Genesis 6 because of the graphic violence and sin that had taken over the world, and that God is not somebody who is patient with evil. And so, knowing what God is about to do, Abraham says to the Lord, Lord, would you destroy the righteous with the evil? No, God, you're a good God. You would never destroy the righteous with the evil. Your wrath is not towards the righteous, it's only towards the evil. Because when Noah was here, you saved Noah and his family because he was righteous. Even though you destroyed the world, you did save the righteous. Now, what if 50 righteous people are living intermingled with the evil people in Sodom and Gomorrah? Would you destroy those cities if there are righteous people living there? For 50 people, God, would you spare those cities? And God says, yes, Abraham, for 50 righteous people, I would save that whole city, that whole region. Now, God knows that there are no righteous people in this area except for Lot and his family. And so this is kind of a strange conversation, but God is playing along with Abraham. And Abraham also knows that this is a very wicked place. So he begins to see how far he can push God. And then he goes from 50 to 45, and then to 40, and then to 20. And then finally he says, God, don't get mad at me, but I'm going to ask you one more time. If you found 10 righteous people in that city, would you save the whole city? And God said, yes. Abraham had a special relationship with God so that he could bargain with God, not for himself, but for the benefit of other people. The church, those who love God, have a place by which we can intervene for others on behalf of their needs because of who we are and because of our relationship with God. God has said that the church, through Jesus, we're the salt of the world, we're the light of the world, and we live in the world. And because of our presence, the world is blessed and is not destroyed. We're the leaven within the world. Think about that. And because of who we are and our position to God, we have the capacity, like Abraham, to go to God and ask God to bless the world, to bless the nations. Not because the wickedness of those places merits God's blessing, but because we are intervening on behalf of the righteous who live there, and understanding that it's not God's desire to judge the world, but he sent his only son into the world to save the world. And when God wants to save the world, he wants us to pray for the world so that the world will be saved. Seeking the destruction of the world is always contrary to the purposes of God. During this Lent, I want to encourage you to understand your positional authority as a child of God. And I want to ask you to pray specifically for the wicked places in this world and ask God to touch those places with his presence, not to destroy them, but to save them and the people that are there. May God richly bless you during this Lent season.